Welcome to the 2018 World Grand Prix Rewind, where we will break down the most exciting stories and matches from the tournament. The World Grand Prix in Tokyo, Japan was the most competitive Shadowverse tournament to date. Across the two-day event, we saw competitors' hopes and fortunes rise and fall. The commentary for the weekend was conducted by casters Exodium, Ignidius, and Akamaru Red. The first day of competition saw the 24 players go through a grueling 8-round Swiss bracket where all three of the main Shadowverse game modes were played: Unlimited, Take 2, and Rotation. The final day brought the competition down to the top 8, and a single elimination bracket is all that stood between these players and $1 million. The first 2 rounds of the day were in the Unlimited format, starting with Potwasher versus Caster. Out of the entire World Grand Prix roster, the 2 players from Korea were both on the same team, Caster and Mindy God. And the 2 players from Texas were both on the same team, Potwasher and Crumsion. It was fitting that the first match of the day saw players from opposite sides of the ocean face off. Match 1, Potwasher versus Caster, Unlimited.
Going into Caster's turn now. The Seraph has been drawn, so the game plan is in sight. Would you just play Marwyn here and try and get there as fast as possible? Looks like he's considering it.
Yeah, it's difficult. As I mentioned before, Marwyn costs you the Moriai setup, but as Caster has already showed us before, he wants to save those Moriais for Dragon's turn 6. There's no ramp yet. But Ayala can change that map really quickly.
But another Marwyn drawn. Looks like this Seraph is going to come down pretty quickly.
For Caster, in my opinion, is to actually stop the Forte development. And if you have a Marwyn on the field, that's very important. Very good.
I actually quite like this. All Caster has to do at this point is survive, and by removing as much as possible at this point in the game, makes it a lot harder for Potwasher to assemble his chip damage, and then you can play the Seraph and win that way.
Yeah, and you know Potwasher has Whisper. However, if they're developing Whisper, they're not developing anything else outside of Forte, so that could be where you want to be, and only allowing Potwasher to play one follower every turn. Seeing how Potwasher is being rewarded for actually playing Poseidon in this list. It's a very hard card to deal with. Perhaps he was expecting a lot of Haven in the format, and Poseidon is a fantastic card. Just spends so many resources for Caster to actually still be in this game.
I think it's still kind of a gamble though, right? Like you said, there is Themis in the deck. It's kind of unfortunate that Caster wasn't able to find it.
And that was a miss on the 50-50 of removing Poseidon. Leaving this Poseidon up could represent lethal for Potwasher.
Ooh, and it's getting close.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it. He's got the Scythers in hand as well.
Beautifully played that Potwasher, beautifully navigated, just stopped the Seraph on 8. And it's one of the reasons why in the West we're not big fans of that style of deck.
Let us conclude.
As much defense as possible on the day with the end. Moving the entire board. He was spending a heretical inquiry on a 2-drop.
He understood his game plan is to dominate the board and make Potwasher's life as difficult as possible.
Come, I'll love you down to the bone.
Oh, interesting. I should have that now. I'm just trying to answer as many threats as possible.
He has to. If he doesn't go for this play, the game is actually over. So this is Potwasher was forced into this play or just accept defeat. Aisha. Otherwise, he wouldn't go for the Aisha. So just playing Delafield is so strong. It's the same play as last turn, but it's just so complicated for your opponent to deal with.
Oh, he's actually going to play the Forbidden Ritual as well.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Do you think you have a better play to save that for a potential refill?
I think so, because there's the possibility of... actually, no.
Oh,
actually, no, there's no way to come back from that situation. That was a good play by Caster. I was going to say Ector could be a possibility, but not enough shadows.
Not enough shadows, because he spent it all on that Aisha that wasn't really effective. And Caster being able to force Potwasher into that position. Kind of awkward with that Disciple of Talents blocking the zombie rushes.
So no Ector then.
Looks like it, yet again.
Oh, I see.
More value.
I see. Very, very, very well played too, because we can't forget, zombies have rush, which means he actually needed that 2 damage before a zombie connects with the 1/2, the Disciple of Silence. So I expect to enter here.
There he comes.
Has to make sure the zombie has to trade or he loses an attack. I'm sure he knows this interaction. He's himself practice a lot with it. Yo, we see the first ever interaction in the competitive.
There we go. Disciple of Silence coming into play. It's so interesting that card sees no play whatsoever in rotation. It's so impactful in Unlimited because of cards like Ector like Aggro Dragon's cards.
And he also understands that this board is capable of winning because Pot Washer has 2 cards in his hand. I think Caster is very close from winning this first round, and he just has to make sure that he keeps control of the board and nothing surprising happens. And eventually, he'll just outplay Pot Washer in this late game because he plays more cards in the future, essentially.
Trading 2 followers into it's full trading here.
Yep.
And then go face and then establish the Disciple.
Yeah, just ward up as much as possible. Even though there's no more Aisha, you never know, right?
Never
there's
know.
still an Nectar possibility. There's still something that's...
And I think that's it. Out of gas. Finally, at the bottom end of the deck here. Caster, there's more... And still has got a Thane, still has an Aisha in the deck.
Yeah, and that's what we mentioned on the pregame. I mean, getting rewarded for playing the more value-oriented deck.
Caster managed to take the series 2-1 by playing very conservatively. Pot Washer seemed unfazed despite the loss. His eyes were looking forward to the next match.
The first 2 Unlimited matches, I actually didn't feel too bad about. My opponents were both very, very strong, and they showed incredible ability to close out games and finish very, very strong. I think especially my first round against Caster, it was a stream match, and both of his Haven decks and Shadow decks, when he was able to burn out my Shadow deck and just create complete victories and create no opportunity for me to come back, it motivated me to keep on playing until the very end and continue my concentration.
Match 2, Sprayquaza versus 9 Voice, Unlimited. Both of these players were 0-1 going into the second round of Swiss. 9 Voice brought some unpredictable curveballs with his deck choices.
It's looking pretty rough for Spray though. Oh!
Let's see if he actually goes for it. It doesn't need to, but
Yeah.
he doesn't go for it. Let's see. Oh.
That's kind of sad. I was kind of hoping for it, but you know.
I mean, this
You're
is the
here.
world stage.
You want to win, right?
Of course.
Wow, pretty convincing win on 9 Voice's side there. Oh, okay.
We have not seen this interaction a lot, but this is a fantastic way to use Arcus with Lurching Corpse.
I think that's it, right?
Yep.
There you go.
With Necro Assassin, that should be lethal.
For you.
And there you have it, 9 Voice. Gonna take this game.
You're breathing
Yep,
too
and now we can play the 2 drops, and then that would be enough, so I don't expect him to miss. All right. Showing some BM here,
A little bit.
or respect for Sprayquaza, showing, look, I had all these tools, even if you defended properly, I still had enough damage.
It's a thin line between the two, isn't it? Respect and BM.
Detestable. I envy you.
And that's gonna be it for our boy Sprayquaza. Unfortunately, 9 Voice taking that game.
Match 3, Mindy God versus Chal Dia, Take 2. Chal Dia, our representative from the SEAO region, drafted Runecraft, a recent, very popular addition to the top-tier draft choices.
And now, as we see Mindy God, I mentioned in the draft, there's not a lot of ways to end the game in his deck, which means that if Chal Dia keeps trading, keeps controlling the board, his health won't drop from 8.
Yeah, this is it. This is exactly what I was talking about. Getting the damage in is important. We saw Mindy God especially still have an Evo point. He could have used that Evo point as early as turn 5 to force through a ton of damage this game, and he chose not to, and this might come back to bite him.
And this is where experience comes into play. The more Take-Two you play, the more you'll see these situations, and I always keep in mind, how am I going to use this Basileus? He kept the Evo for the Basileus, and look, he didn't even use the Evolve, because Runecraft doesn't give you a lot of targets for it.
It's absolutely true, and you know, an old adage that we like to say is you can't save your evolutions for the next game, so if you don't find the proper use for them in your game, it could have been the biggest mistake of the game for you.
Very difficult position to be in, Mindy God.
We already know he's used his Pitfall and his Divine Retribution, so the 8/7's not dying outside of... Oh, I think he's just throwing in the towel. He's not doing anything about it.
Look at his reaction. Gilnelis is a very good card. And Chal Dia got into that situation, as you mentioned on the draft. He drafted Gilnelis knowing that if I can control the board, if I can establish my own Abyss Summoner, I can win the game with Gilnelis.
Even with a suboptimal draft, Chal Dia, using Abyss Summoner extremely well, managed to take a victory against the Korean master. Match 4, Minsu versus Karakuri, Take 2. This final Take 2 match ended up being a mirror, Swordcraft being one of the premier choices in Take 2. All of the European representatives were from France. That is not a coincidence. The French community tends to stick to themselves, and they've developed a powerful playstyle all their own. Minsu carried on the French reputation and started the game with an early lead.
So again, we talked about how his deck was built to play an aggressive line. Now that he's gone this more valued line, look at his hand. It's all low cast cards.
Yeah.
He can't really play into big boards very well.
You think you favored a more aggressive line of play going into this?
I think so. I think on turn 4, instead of playing Day, I think that the double 2-drop would have been just a little bit stronger.
You're too used to the constructed rigs.
Oh my goodness.
Oh!
Wow, the hits keep on coming for both of our players this
It never
game.
ends. I think you Lowain. You do the Lowain trade
yeah.
now, and then Human Pyramid attack becomes devastating when you've already used their one Rapier Master against your Proto Bahamut. More big bodies is what you're looking for right now.
Yeah, I think the value is now coming into play for Minsu. Karakuri did find his one out to Proto Bahamut, but now has to face down both a Lowain and a Vanguard here. Okay, gonna start with the Vanguard.
It's the Bro family, and they're dead.
That's right.
Forgot that's the noise he made.
Oh, that was fun.
That was surprising. The timer's ticking. Spent a long time thinking about it. Got to execute.
I think we went over the options here. I don't think there's a way.
Interesting to see the Scathacia enhance use, but
And you see Karakuri right there. He knows there's no way out of it. You see him pop back into his chair.
I mean, even if the Bellringer has one more defense, you would get the Tomoe regardless, and then it would just barrel through.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Forgot about that. Yeah, you actually get the rush follower after as well. So yeah, no way to defend against this. And Minsu is going to go up 3-1 against Karakuri.
Bro family victory.
Match 5, Essia versus Ryu, Rotation. Rio is up, our only undefeated player so far, and he was up against Essia, one of our French players known for being one of the best Forestcraft players in the world. Even in the current meta, Forestcraft was considered to be one of the weaker crafts. Essia still brought it with a specific list that no one had seen in high-level competitive play thus far. Rio, meanwhile, brought the most popular decks in the format and piloted them superbly.
4-6 with the Evo can do 8 damage, with Essia down to 10, but Essia is going to heal from this Flores, which means that Darkfist Bet would not be the end of the game so far.
As it turns out, trade a bet.
Might even develop Alexid Right Demon would be a fantastic choice. If Wings of Lust is not helping you win the game necessarily, you don't need to go for it.
Trading the Valnrek and just running the bats into face, and then if you develop the Alexandrite here, we've already seen no more Evil points on Essia's side, and he's already played an Evil Eye Demon.
Yeah, I think the big difference here was how Rio was capable of invocating Flores very early on, which slowed down Essia's development, and it made it so Rio was in control of the game, controlled the tempo and the initiative in this particular matchup.
Oh, Valnrik's active now, though, and got it off that Blood Pack. Not bad.
Again.
It's a very difficult game, one of the hardest matchups to play, currently in rotation.
Valnrik's such a good card just by itself.
And I believe that would be game for Rio. He has the Evolve point, has access to Darkfist Bat. I believe Darkfist Bat is at 9 with the gift of Blood. Yep,
That is a lot of damage on a vet.
Great execution by Rio. Perfect understanding of how this matchup is supposed to go. He was on the draw and was still able to command this game.
What's it at? No, is it done cooking?
counting damage. I mean, when I draw 2 Razor Claws, I am immediately counting how much damage I can do from this hand. Because his hand doesn't have a lot of longevity. It has stalling potential with Evil Eye Demon, but after that, nothing's there.
He's trying to think a couple turns ahead, right? Like, how do I want to play out my next couple turns so that my Dark Feast Bat can end this game come turn 8?
So let's see, he got 2 self-damage this turn. He invocated Flores the last turn, so 4. Blood Pack adds another one, so it's a 5, 7, 8, I believe. So it's very close.
If Rio can navigate this and win with a Galmew, that'd be really impressive. Because he's also facing down a lot of damage if he's not dealing with this board.
Yeah, I think
he's just going to do for the Galmew play.
Deal 1 damage to all followers.
And that Evolve Floors is going to buy Essia a lot of time, and he's even got another one in hand.
I think that's what he needed. Now he can evolve the Flores, can even Snarling Change just to add damage to Dark Feast Bat. I believe that Dark Feast Bat is at... so it's definitely at least 12. So I don't know if it's at what Essia needs. From his reaction, I'm a bit hesitant here.
Yeah, otherwise he would kind of just slam it pretty confidently.
Or the Razor Claw could have been phased in that, if that was the case. These are the moments as a viewer that's very stressful, very tense, because we don't have perfect information as Essia does, and we don't know what he could get off the top. And this is a very tense moment. From his body language, I am very unsure that the bat will be enough. Otherwise, he would just slam the Snarling Chains here.
Again, it's one of those things that, as a competitor, like you were saying, if you're in that space, you can actually watch your opponent as well, and then you can get some cues off of that. So you think this bat is around 12, potentially?
It's definitely at minimum 10.
Minimum 10.
Minimum is 10. I have confirmation from my memory that
it's 12. Yeah,
12.
It's exactly 12.
Yeah, it's 12.
Here we go. He's just going to go for it and hope that his deck carries him throughout these next couple turns.
Oh.
I think it's going to be close.
So... Oh no, so if he had Snarling Chains the previous turn, it would be 1 off, which means Razor Claw. Oh no.
One of the game.
Really love the usage then of Dark Feast Bat. Just opens up more freedom for the play points, opens up a lot of outs. If he had not played it, then he would be in a much more difficult situation.
The early invocated Floros for Essia ended up swinging this game really his way, because then he could put so much pressure on. Then now,
no.
Ooh. I was gonna say now the onus is on Essia's draws and on Rio's play.
And that would be it. Unfortunately for Essia, his undefeated score 2-0. Oh, look at him reacting to the camera.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
That was rough. Although Essia did play to his outs, I think he played very well in this deck in both games. And at the end of the day, just not enough to overcome the Dragon Menace.
Match 6. Chal Dia versus Feg. Rotation. Both players decided to bring the same deck archetypes for the rotation section of the Swiss tournament.
Counting, making sure the damage stacks up correctly, making sure that if I use a Razor Claw here, I have enough damage. Look at the difference between this play on Feg and Essia's last game.
Absolutely. And just a ton of damage, proccing the Floros all on turn 6. This is such a rough game here now for Chal Dia, and Feg, even if he wants to, has options for Vera next turn with an Evo if he wants to protect himself. And let me tell you guys something, all right? As soon as this card came out, I jumped for joy. You know why? Because healing for 6 is insanely good. 6 is a huge number. That's 2 Razor Claws just healed right away, 1 card. And it was a free card you got off of a follower.
And 2 play 0.66, just compared to Monastic Holy War. That 2 play point heal 2, or the card from Lorena, 1 play point heal 2. This is burst healing, something that Dragon didn't have access. It reminds me of the old school Sybil plays that felt so good late game.
Absolutely. Now, of course, Feg has done a lot of self-damage this game. It might be over 14. You know, it might even be higher than that, especially now with what he's been drawing. Just Blood Pact into Blood Pact. Now he has Gift. Valnarek was insane.
Doing the math.
It's at 12 right now.
I mean, this matchup is very hard. Some players even went to the extreme of saying if a Valnarek is active and played, Dragon cannot win that game. Valnarek is such a massive tempo swing. You can't play your Dahakas, you can't play your Poseidons because you're living that 5-7 up, and that 5-7 can do a lot more damage.
Absolutely. And we see Chal Dia doing everything he can. As a matter of fact, just no way to get rid of the Valnarek, so he's just going to Gets straight up bombed here by the bat.
Oh.
And that's going to do it.
An MVP of this match, Alex and Right Demon. Without that
Absolutely.
top deck, there was no way for Feg to actually get those powerful cards.
Ooh, okay, here we go. This looks like all face then.
Careful with the ring, Feg. Second turn in a row. This is tense. Miss your attacks.
Gotta kill that so an Ozzy to Haka isn't lethal. Needs to present lethal here so you can't slow down. Yep, and here we go. Poseidon Masamune. The play we were talking about all game, we can see how devastating it is. Not only does it lock up the entire board, it also gives you 2 wards to prevent possible Ozzy to Hakas being played against you.
Yep, and Feg not very happy in this position. I mean, look at this board. 2-2, 5-7, 1-3 ward, 1-3 ward. And without Evos, those wards will stay there for a really long time. I mean, having to spend a rending for a 1-3 ward is not where you want to be. It's if you're not going to win this turn, you're cementing yourself to be winning in the next turn. You saw your opponent play a Prime Dragon Keeper with a certain disdain. Their hand is very empty, so you don't mind. I mean, it's very hard. Even if they had Poseidon and Masamune themselves, you're so close with lethal here.
Oh, I didn't even notice, but Chal Dia actually went the heal option as well, so didn't even get the dragon, so playing very safe.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, he's the ramp dragon of the two. He's the more controlling type of deck. So.
Absolutely. And here we go. Just heal up, make sure that he can't lose here. And as we can see, all these big cards now in Feg's hand, but the tempo not in his favor.
Yep, and having 5 followers means that even Poseidon Masamune would not be able to clear the entire board, so there's still a possibility for this Frenzy Drake even to rub the wound. I don't know, like, I don't understand the snarling change though. I know he's getting into a comfortable position still, but
This is too slow, don't care, bro. Like, I'm going.
so even Pure Voice Dragoon, oh my god, that was close. That was really close.
6,
That's 13
9,
damage.
10, 13.
Now then.
That's so close. I don't think he has it now. Not even Pure Voice Dragoon would be enough, because there's a gift there.
Now then.
I think Chal Dia got this.
Chal Dia gonna be
got this.
a World Grand Prix 2-time player here. And Feg, I believe, made 2 mistakes this game, or 2 mistakes this match. We saw him miss an attack, not a game-ending mistake, but leading into this game where he just left a Floros in play.
What? I don't know what happened here. Both players on that particular turn did very confusing plays. I wasn't very sure what they were doing there. It's like they had a very clear plan, but I just completely missed it.
Feg knows he's praying that there's no bat here. Unfortunately for him, prayers will not be answered today. Darkfeast's bat number 2 is going to come down and end this one.
Feg knows. I mean, this is the 3-3 position that's very nervous to be in.
That's my boy, Chal Dia, bringing it home out of nowhere.
Match 7. Potwasher versus Salt. Rotation. Both of these players had a 4-2 record. The cutoff for the top 8 is 5 wins. The winner of this match will have the best chance to qualify for the top 8.
Ooh.
Honor.
This is still a Galmu play, of course.
This is pretty nice.
Yeah. Straight board clear, extra 3 damage going in. Of course the heal for 2 is going to come out.
Comes a
Man,
5-1.
so many things just happening right now
Right.
in sequence.
Pew, pew, pew.
All right.
Just slam the Gilm release for the next turn?
You don't necessarily need Gilm release this turn, but I don't mind it. I mean, again, your opponent only has 1 card in their hand. You're not expecting it to be anything you haven't seen right now. Poseidon was definitely not on the radar. Of Potwasher.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh, these top decks, exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah?
The card quality in Dragoncraft is really scary. Everything is kind of a big boy that goes face a lot of the time.
Those are some pretty nice top decks over the last couple turns. Galmu into Poseidon into Ozzy to Haka. Can't really ask for much better.
Yeah. He also has an Orthra, so he can deal with the biggest cards here.
Yep, he's got the big Soul Hunter also to finish up both of the big followers here. And honestly, he can freely attack this Gilm Release to do a 1-3. Heal a little bit. He's got the second Gilm Release for turn 9.
Down to the bone.
So he's going to do it.
Lord Poseidon.
Yeah, so even with all these top decks, Salt isn't necessarily in a winning position just yet.
Just yet. So do you want to Ozzy into the Gilm Release at this point?
I mean, yeah, you kind of have to, right?
It never feels good to play Ozzy and not have it go to the dome, right?
Yeah, but it's still protected. You've got a ward there. Of course, Orthrus can fix that in a jiffy, so can Gilnelise.
And another Gilnelise. I think he just played the second Gilnelise.
Oh, 100%. You're going into turn 10. This is your lethal setup turn.
Plus you get more cards this way come next turn.
That's right. So Gilnelise out there, for folks that don't know, is a card that looks really good on the surface, right? 7 play, 0.35, ambush, and pump your entire board +2/+0. Has an alternate effect.
This is kind of rough for Salt. Not the most impactful cards to have gotten. He had a good string of them, you know? Galmu into Poseidon, Azidahaka. Starting to slow down here. You can see he's like leaning back a little bit, resigning to his fate, but you know, still in it.
7 damage already in play. You're looking for a fairy. You're looking for a Gremory. Looks like Gremory was drawn here, and that's going to do it.
That's going to be it.
Special death from yours too.
There you go. Potwasher with that Gilnelise into Gilnelise play, and Salt, despite having some pretty beefy dragon followers, not being able to take it home.
Yeah, this is rough.
This is pretty rough for Salt. Potwasher looking pretty convincing. Although, you know, Potwasher's list so far has run pretty much like a Ramp Dragon deck. Not taking the Prime Dragon Keeper whatsoever.
That's why you only play 2. You don't need it all the time, and when you don't draw it, cool. Who cares?
I like this. I like this new archetype of dragon. Chill Dragon.
Chill Dragon. Just, you know, play whatever. They're all good.
That's fine.
Yeah. This 8 drop, this 10 drop, this whatever drop. Just beat your opponent up. It's awesome.
This is a pretty clean clear, actually. You can evolve the Phylene into the Poseidon. Oh, no.
Lord Poseidon.
The 130 still sticks, but...
I think I'm going to go home and rename my deck Chill Dragon. That's dope.
It's pretty nice, right?
Yeah, that's sweet.
Let's put a couple of everything in it.
Just one of everything. Just one PDK, one Frenzied Drake.
I think we've just described Highlander Dragon.
Yeah, it's great.
I think about it.
And then we just morph it into a Mirabane deck, and then it's just awesome.
Interesting. Going face with that 1/1 instead of making sure that you clear the...
It won't be long now.
Oh, yeah, you can do this as well. Like you said, he still had an Evolve left.
One to give.
And that's a big board.
That's it for now.
And damage pushed through.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a comeback from what we can see in Salt's hand. I think this is it.
Oh, yeah. I think that's it. What can you do against this?
Let's teach you how power.
He's zigging.
He's zagging.
Nah.
I mean, he's technically still alive. He zigged and zagged the appropriate amount of times. Of course, we know Azidahaka is awaiting for him in the hand, so Potwasher is going to win and go up to 5-2.
5-2 from a 0-2 start.
From a 0-2 start, almost there. One more win guaranteed, one more loss, maybe in. We'll see.
With that victory, Potwasher managed to go from a 2-2 record to a 5-2 record. Match 8, Minsu versus Shiro. Rotation. It's sad that it came to this. Not only are these two players best friends from France, but they're the 2 French players on the same team. Both of them have 4-3 records. The winner of this will advance to the top 8, and the loser will go home.
It's interesting that they both chose to pick Dragoncraft. I mean, I would say that Dragoncraft probably is favored over Shadowcraft in this field right now, so they both opted for the more favored deck. It would be weird if one of them went Dragoncraft and the other tried to gamble for Shadowcraft and ended up unfavorable in the first game.
Even if it's not favored, it is most likely what both players think. Otherwise, they would not have started with this. You obviously want to start with a 1-0 lead instead of the being on the back swing of it. And this accomplishes what Shiro wants. Stabilizing the Evo points is very important. Forcing your opponent to evolve as well as you makes it so that the evolve advantage Minsu had in the early game is not there.
I really like this line. Being able to full clear here and then push another 4 to face.
Yep. This game is very close to end, and with double the Haka, you're forcing your opponent to play Poseidon into a board that's not very effective, but this is what we've been stressing the whole day.
There he is.
get used to this because you're gonna see this a lot throughout the tournament.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I mean, maybe that's just me as a Dragon main. Maybe if I wasn't a Dragon main, I wouldn't say it's pretty great, but I think it's pretty great.
Yeah, this is the Ector mirrors.
Oh, yeah.
If a player does not get Ector online, this is more difficult because it's a 2-card combo, but it is very similar in that regard.
And that's what I was talking about. Like, all that damage that Minsu is assembling in the early to mid game, a lot of it got neutralized by that Pure Voice Dragoon into Dragoon's Meditation as well.
Yeah,
I'm still keeping tabs.
This chance to prevail.
And this Masamune is not as impactful.
Lord Poseidon!
Still can clear quite a bit here, but it's getting pretty rough. No Daka in Hishiro's hand, unfortunately, to close this.
And so if he chooses to clear the board, establish his own board, and force Minsu to be on the backseat and keep having to remove boards constantly, and we all know how difficult it is without Frenzy Drakes.
It's really weird how so few players brought Frenzy Drake here. I actually quite like Frenzy Drake in Dragon Craft List. Like, why do you think a lot of players opted not to bring it?
Most of the Prime Dragon Keepers don't play Frenzy Drake. It's very anti-synergistic, which means that if you go for a Prime Dragon Keeper style, you cannot don't have space to play that Frenzy Drake.
Right.
Freeze.
I mean, even without Azidahaka, it looks like Hishiro has quite the board presence already. I don't know if Minsu has anything can come back from this.
There's no one else I'd rather
and
lose to.
Minsu admits defeat.
Again, this is the fight for their competitive careers for this year, at the very least. So, making sure to take your time, think through everything. Super
Yeah,
important.
also use your time. How do I set up this Arcus? When can I play this service? What do I go for? Do I go for Lirio or do I need to save it for Gilnelis? Do I play Fairy? I probably need Fairy because it's the second one, so very hard to be in this situation.
Oh, another Andrealphus,
perfect.
really nice. But now we know that Minsu just has the Poseidon Masamune if he really wants to.
Yep.
Just slams that down.
Devastating.
It's back and forth, isn't it?
This is giving me Hector PTSD. This is no matter how far ahead you are, there's always a Poseidon Masamune there to just get back the board position.
Oh yeah. It's like it. Although it's coming up now too with that Fairy Gilnelis.
And Minsu not playing the Hazidahaka the last turn has not got enough damage to kill him, and I believe that would be it. That is lethal, absolutely, because he has Grammar, he has Ghost, has Fairy too. That's definitely lethal here.
Out of the clutches of defeat. Well, we know how powerful the Gremory Gilnelis combo can be. But Minsu was kind of between a rock and a hard place there, right? Like, if he didn't Dragoon's Meditation, he also could have just lost to Arcus Ghost plus Gilnelis that turn.
I think Minsu had a chance to win this game, chose to not go for the Haka. I mean, I did the math. Yes, it was lethal, but you have to be, you're in a situation where you have to think, if I don't set up my own lethal, I'm just giving one more turn for Gilnelis to end me.
Ooh.
Detestable.
You're a solid fighter.
It was a very great moment because I was sure one of us gets the top 8. So I was unhappy to lose, but I'm very happy for Ichiro to get the top 8. And we had the same lineup. We did it together during the preparation of the World Grand Prix. So it's nice to see one Revelation player on the top 8. And I'm not disappointed, but I will come back next year.
At the end of day 1, Potwasher had a 6-2 record. He went from 0-2 to 6-2 and managed to secure 3rd place going into day 2. Feg, one of our players with a 5-3 record, beats the tiebreaker and takes 4th place. At the top 8 ceremony, all of these players were of course relieved to have made it, but you could see the nervousness in each one of them, knowing the opponents remaining for the best of 5 rotation format were the very best in the world. Quarterfinals match 1, Rio versus Casago. 2 of our lone wolf Japanese players, both of them masters in their own right. Casago brought Swordcraft, which is a deck that has completely fallen out of favor in rotation. No one else brought this craft.
This is why the Spra is intense.
Yeah, off the top, Valeric with the Wings of Lust already in hand from last turn. This is gonna get...
Not kill the Valeric, but this is a big swing for Casago.
Although, is it enough for Rio right now?
I believe so.
It's gotta, yeah, it's
Yes,
gotta be...
with the Sapphire, that is
11,
exactly
yeah, that's
lethal.
exact lethal on turn 9. That could have gone either way depending on any of those top decks, but dang. Rio taking it for the first match here. Casago's having difficulty with his decision as well. It's not an easy turn to navigate right now. Do you save your resources or do you try and preserve your life total as much as possible? Looks like he's going for a Wind Blast Dragon, a Servant of Disdain. No. And the Wind Blast Dragon is just going face.
Understanding that the board is locked, so for Rio to deal with this board, he had to trade, but I believe this will be difficult.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. The Haka for exactly 14.
Casago trying to play for the win, trying to, if I try to remove and use my Masamune, I fall too far behind, and Rio beautifully navigated this game. Because if you didn't play last turn, you probably got access to it this turn. But he just cannot let it affect him, because there's a lot more game to go for.
Not quite. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. You cannot remove the 3-4 and the 2-2, which means this will probably be game for Casago.
Wow. That was intense.
This is a very good game. So back and forth.
Yeah, I think Rio really navigated his turns as best he possibly could. Really heads-up plays a lot of the time, but Casago, I think the matchup favored him, and he also played very well himself. And there you go, Azi Dahaka for the finish. Right to the dome.
Even showing Azi Dahaka, not even going for Dragon's Command that Rio already knew he had available.
Still. Yeah. I think he was saving the second Gift Blood Kid for save his own health total while setting up for
saving his health total. You can count how much damage Shadow can do with that position. Actually, you know exactly how much he can do. So that'll be it. I think Rio will win the first round, and he knew it. Oh, look at him reacting to the camera.
He was going at the camera. He was pointing at it.
I love it.
Man after your own heart, eh? There you go. It's interesting. That was such a close game. Like all these games, so interesting, so close. 7 to the face.
Detestable.
For exact lethal.
Detestable.
And I think both players were a bit shaky near the end. They didn't look very confident in their play.
Rio, our number 1 seeded player, took the series 3-1 before Swordcraft was even relevant. Quarterfinals match 2. Feg versus Hishiro. It's our French player's last chance. Shiro came out of nowhere in the Shadowverse Open's final season, surprising everyone.
When you're ahead, Galmio isn't necessarily the card you want to be playing. Obviously, the Haka and Poseidon are the cards to snowball your advantage. Galmio usually is a reactive card, not necessarily a proactive card.
That's right. I'm trying not to show favoritism here. I'm going, please no Poseidon off the top.
Dragon Strike Blade!
Oh! Okay. Says 5 damage is acceptable.
That was the last removal he had on his hand, so that was one of the last ways he could have dealt with the Prime Dragon Keeper. So it's either accepting it's a race or accepting the damage. Very risky play by Shiro.
You don't want to get extra damage on your own followers, but he's going to do it.
Trample all over it.
Interesting. Also, Galmio can beat 3 damage out of hand in some situations. Also, if Shiro played his own Poseidon with Masamune, I think this is a very risky play by Feg. Fortunately for Feg, there's no Masamune in the hand, but I think that I would have held that Galmio in case something really wrong like that happened.
That would have been game-winning. If there was a Masamune in hand for Shiro now, and he just top-decked that Poseidon, that might have just been the game. But of course, no Masamune there, so he's going to have to figure a way out of this. Poseidon.
Yeah, Shiro's in the back foot here. Having to react in the Dragon Mirror is never what we want to be doing. I believe that would be game.
That's it. So Feg's going to take a quick 2-0 against the Shiro now, and he's got to win with this Mysteria Rune deck. We're going to see if it can get it done.
Together, Freya, we're unstoppable.
This is when you know you're in a big advantage. If I was in the Shiro shoes, you just made your opponent go to the ring twice, back to back. You know he's struggling.
Can't quite see if a fairy was drawn.
There's a fairy there.
There's a fairy.
The fairy was already in the hand. That's actually exactly lethal. There we go.
Just don't discard one of the Orthros.
There we go. I think he sees it. Our boy Shiro has a point on board.
Here we go. All right, so taking out Mysteria Rune. Honestly, I feel like this is just combo versus combo. One combo got to go off first. You saw it.
No!
There we go!
Looks like you won.
That's right. Give it up in chat, everybody. Shiro's still alive. Not getting 3-0 today. Not our boy.
Look at Shiro praying.
Like, I cannot lose.
Please don't make one of those silly... Oh, he's not going to like that.
Forget.
That's pretty
Please
good.
don't make one of those explosive rune turns.
Ooh, hello.
Oh, hello, Wings of Lust. Volnrik. My favorite turn 7 play. So Jeremiah got his favorite play. Now I get my favorite play. This is just insane.
The world shall hear. Like automatically back to 20.
No, not big enough. Oh, Shiro knows it.
He sees it. So 7, 10 plus Evo 12. Not enough damage to take Shiro out.
There's still the fact that Volnrik is a 7-8 that has to be killed.
That's right. And honestly, what Feg is thinking about
This
is,
ends here.
I know if my opponent has Dark Beast Bat, I lose. Is there any way I can win if he doesn't have Dark Beast Bat? What is my best option? For 7, set up potential lethal on the following turn. Of course, as we know, my favorite play. Let's go.
Shiro knows it, and it's a 2-2. Oh, Feg, oh, Feg. I fear for you.
Looks like
Yet again, a deck going 0-2 into
Yes.
the best of 5, into the 5th game. This is the second on, so that means that he still has the third one, but at this point in the game, getting the third one is very expensive, so I would be very surprised if he didn't choose to take the sorcery. Interesting. So he's setting up lethal. He knows Pure Voice Dragoon heals for 6.
And he sees the Annie. You see a Shiro react to that. He knows he knows the writing's on the wall at this point. He knows that there's no lethal this turn. He knows Annie sorcery is at least at 11.
Feg knows it. Very well played by Feg.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable!
And you see Shiro's expression. He knows, shaking his head. He knows it's coming.
Much magic as I
You're a
can hold.
solid fighter.
The last Frenchman, however, was no match for Feg, who brought Mysteria Runecraft, a deck that no one in the West expected from the Japanese players. Feg advances 3-2.
So during day 1, the thing I learned is that I know that I can show up and beat everyone, even a Japanese pro. As long as you train, as long as you put in the effort and understand the game, you can do it. For day 2, my defeat with Feg was due to me being scared of Nova Flare at turn 4 and not going for Serpent Drake and Rending. So what I learned is sometimes you have to admit that you have to take a risk to make it to the next match. For next season, I think I will try to understand when it's the time to go all in and when it's the time to play safely. I will work on that during tournaments.
Quarterfinals match 3. Salt versus Nine Voice. In the walkout ceremony, these players shared a hug and a laugh. There was joy on both of their faces. Both of these players brought Runecraft, but entirely different archetypes. Salt with Spell Boost Runecraft, and Nine Voice with Mysteria Runecraft.
Blood has a really hard time with dealing with multiple Serpent Drakes and things like that early in the game, so maybe it's just an option to help him clear boards when he needs to.
There's the madness revealed. It is one turn before the Dark Beast Bat, so if you're going to play, you should play it now.
Embrace.
All right, but we do see at least a Valnrek in hand. So Valnrek 2, 4 with Evo 6. And the Snarling Chains. Yep, that's it. To do it.
That madness reveal gamble did not pay off. Again, playing the Perish for not the zero-cost option.
I think Nine Voice is getting a little loosey-goosey with his Bloodcraft play here.
I was just trying to rationalize maybe why is he making these plays, and I'm a little confused.
Your strength.
Yeah, right now they are not the winning plays. I'll tell you that much. So Salt's going to take an early 2-0 over Nine Voice here. The only deck he has left is his Runecraft deck.
I think that'll be okay. It's only one additional defense in Nine Voice's health total, right? And then you can try and Giant Chimera for the win.
Is he still one off?
He's going for it.
Unbelievable. Open wide.
Or is he exact lethal here?
That
Says
13 damage.
13, so a little bit more than exact lethal. So Nine Voice gonna pick this one up against the Runecraft list. That was a much closer match than we thought it was going to be. Holy crap!
So that does 5 here, and the other one does. It's
got to be similar. They were right next to each other, yeah.
And that's it. Kind of low impact.
It won't be long now.
Oh, free evolving the clay golem here.
Interesting choice. Not really sure what that prevents against.
Are you expecting Nine Voice to play a Poseidon, so pre-evolving the... I don't know, it's weird.
It does protect, I suppose, against a Galmu specifically. It means a Galmu can't come down and get the extra 3 damage in. But Fire Embrace plus Giant Chimera for 16 looks like lethal in hand right now, unless... No, it doesn't even matter. If you play the Disciple, you lose the defense on the Frenzy Drake. I think this is it.
Interesting that he played the Frenzy Drake over an option that gave him a lot more defensive measures against an upcoming Giant Chimera. I mean, surely he knows that the Giant Chimera is upcoming.
He knows it's upcoming, but what can you do to... I mean, there's not much else to do, right?
That's true. The Giant Chimera has been in his hands since the beginning of the game as well.
That's right. So Fire Embrace is going to come down. It's going to pump Giant Chimera, and that's going to end the game. Salt is going to take this one 3-1.
That's exact lethal too with 17 damage.
Impressive play by Salt.
Quarterfinals match 4, Potwasher versus Xanex. Potwasher's coming off of a 4-match win streak from day 1. The same cannot be said for Xanex, being one of the players who qualified via tiebreaker. Yet both of these players were completely focused. They both brought the most popular decks. This match comes down to all skill.
Tools that he needs to clear the board here at least.
Interesting pose for Potwasher, really deep in the tank. Now he's trying to assess the board state, perhaps thinking that an Evil Eye Demon will be on the other side. But still, even if Evil Eye Demon was something that Xanex had access to, that Arcus follow-up is very strong for Potwasher.
Focus indicated out here.
Let us come.
Finally getting the self-ping a little bit higher.
Open your ear. These fists cause
Should be at 7 now, I believe.
Did you like it?
And you're very safe with another Evo for the Gilnolis, and you're also very close from ending this game.
Using his Razor Claws again on the board. The Florist bought him a little bit of time.
Thinking, oh my god, I never draw Cerberus, what's happening? Here, Potwasher is showing you that you don't necessarily need it all the time to win.
I'm coming for you.
It's all about making the best of what you got, you know? You can't just woe with me and give up. This is the World Grand Prix after all. Potwasher is not the kind of player to do that as well. Just find the best lines of play, and that is lethal.
Yep. Look at that. Potwasher navigated himself into a position where he could actually get lethal with the Gilnolis. Very well played. Certainly gave him the damage.
Just abuse of the Razor Claw there on the follower. Maybe he was calculating. It won't be long now.
And I keep stressing this when I'm streaming or casting. Every time you can, always try to block those predictable plays. Poseidon are the key play. Those are the plays your opponent will be looking for, and your opponent will always try and set him up.
And now with this Evil Eye Demon, Xanex can connect a lot to the dome here. This Floro is still up.
You're the true.
And I think that it should be 10 or 11 actually. Yep. And I think that Xanex navigated this game beautifully. And yeah, Potwasher being tested here. I mean, yesterday he seemed very dominant. He was the game we saw 2-0, very strong play by Potwasher. But here Xanex is showing that he has game too. I mean, I've been talking a lot about Potwasher, but I do have to say that Xanex, with this blood play, maneuvered this game in a way to win it.
Really nice play. Dark Beast Bat coming in for 11 damage to Potwasher. Potwasher resetting here, taking a sip of water, getting in for this last match of the set. It's going to be Shadowcraft versus Dragoncraft.
Oh, there we go. All right, no bias, no bias. So Potwasher here has an attack for 7.
That's pretty rough for Xanex there.
Let's be as not excited as possible. So here he's going to connect for 7 and can play another Poseidon, which will be very hard for Xanex to deal with.
All right, you don't have to pretend. I know you're jumping for joy on the inside.
He's doing it! Yes!
Yeah, Potwasher might just make it in the fifth game here of this series.
There we go. All right, so let's see what Xanex gets off the top. Whoa. Might be too late, though.
I think it's too late. Like, this is way too much on the board, right? And none of your huge important techs, like you said, Trot's Curse and Big Soul Hunter, you're dealing with 2 Poseidons and 3 wards protecting them.
Very difficult to remove all of this.
He's going for the Fran play.
go.
Feel like killing
One
yet?
more down.
One more down.
I'm leaving.
2 wards down.
Lord
He can
Poseidon,
get rid of
I'll show you.
one Poseidon.
Oh, he still had the evolve. There we go. I was confused if he had the evolve or not. So getting a bit rewarded for keeping them for this long. But damage has been done. Poseidon Masamune is available for Pot Washer, and the 5 can connect face again.
That's
put him
awesome.
to 10. No, that put him to 10.
I think he gets Poseidon.
Yeah, Poseidon. Yeah,
you
Poseidon
play
was
the
very hard to
Masamune.
deal with.
Yep.
And Xanex reacting. He knows the third Poseidon is back.
The last turn, it was really difficult for Xenex to react already, so Polisher's was like, all right, I'll just do it again. No problems
again.
here.
Pot Washer is very close. You can see his expression.
Full clear.
Oh!
Way too late, though, I feel like.
With the Galmio, that's it. There we go.
Wow!
Wow!
In the post-game interview, Pot Washer let us know how he felt by shouting, "I'm here to win." Semifinals Match 1, Feg versus Rio. Rio was the clear favorite to win this match. He was the #1 seed, and he only lost 1 match across the entire World Grand Prix, and that was against Pot Washer. This top 8 match was a rematch of the last JCG qualifier, where Rio lost to Feg.
Having double Vulneric is 4 damage with double Rage Reclaw 10, so we definitely need something else. Wings of Lust, Dark Feast Bat, that's the conclusion that he's coming to.
That's right. And if I'm Feg, I know my opponent doesn't have Ozzy to Hawkeye. I know my opponent doesn't have Poseidon, so I'm not really worried about this turn, and he does get into a bat. So now he can plan his endgame.
There we go. With this bat, I would be very surprised if he didn't go for double Rage Reclaw, set up lethal. It is currently at 12. Force Rio to play Pure Voice Dragoon, which he actually does not have access to. So I believe this is checkmate.
Good stuff. Feg showing us how it's done with Bloodcraft. And again, I have to call into question playing Dragon into Blood for the first game. It just seems like it puts you at such a high handicap. When you go down a game, 1 game against these players, that is a huge disadvantage.
Sometimes it's likely to get fatigued.
Absolutely. And they don't get to walk away and have a snack and all that kind of stuff. They're in that room until they're done.
Exactly. It's tough. So Rio here accepting that his only way to win is hope that there's no Dark Beast Bat. But if I was playing against Feg and I saw double Visionary Claw with a full hand, I know that's a set.
Yeah, especially after a Blood Pact and a Sapphire. Yeah, too much draw there. And Feg is going to go up 1-0 here. I'm getting nervous of him just playing it right off.
Even if not for the spell boost, why not Fire Embrace? How do you kill the 7-8?
Okay. There you go.
Going for the maximum amount of spell boost. I like this. That's actually 1 more damage.
Okay, here we go.
It's at
he's
11.
attacking first too.
Oh, he knows he's not lethal.
Oh, that's so close.
Oh, he reacted, so the bat will be enough with the gift for Bloodkin. Oh, man.
Wow. Rio, yeah, you saw that. He's
I think Rio actually managed to almost lose this game. There is no need for that. Wow, is that 1?
Feg's reaction to the gift for Bloodkin as well, leaving his opponent at 1.
If it was 1 more damage from the Truth Edge Dedication, he could not have killed him.
Wow.
Wow.
Unbelievable game there. Wow. Maybe he does.
Oh,
he's got the red.
Yep, like it. He's going to get another Drake, setting up lethal. The second Azidaka.
Heavy here is very good.
I would keep Masamune just because it is a safe plan to go for. You can Masamune and then Poseidon or Dahaka if you need to, so anything that you get off the top of the deck, even that single can get rushed with the Masamune, so I really like this setup.
All right, Rio's off the top of his deck here. What can he draw? That's not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
I think this is game over.
He knows it, shaking his head. Oh,
slinking down in the chair. Yikes.
Dehydration actually plays a big role in your decision.
Absolutely. So Feg going to go up 2-1 here, and now back to his Mysteria Rune deck. This is going to be the talk of the tournament for him if it makes him to the final.
I think that Gremory is essentially in drawing 3 extra cards with that play is very important for Rio, as well as dealing with his board.
Wow. No fairy here.
He's actually pointing. Now, it's interesting. The circle is getting to... Wow, he wants the card draw, but wants to hold onto the fairies.
Okay. Double card draw is not a bad option either. Holding onto the fairy here. Maybe it's not holding onto the fairy, it's just that he wanted the double card draw here. But then again, if he would have evolved the fairy,
right?
he would have gotten double card draw anyway and still had a
4-4 could have
Gremory.
killed the 3-3.
Yeah.
The damage actually ramps up really fast if you allow the 7 damage to connect.
That's true.
That could be a effect needed to in this game.
I mean, can you adjudicate and this turn? If that's the case, then maybe the game's just over because of that play.
You can even Nova Flare, go face Nova Flare and go for on too if you want to. And go for the Mysterian Circle as well. That guarantees that a Ghost is not lethal for you, as well as ramping up the Mysterian. I think that might have been an overstep by Rio twice in the series that we see. Could also be the end of this, not Tournament 5, but the top 4 or the $1 million run.
Wow.
I think so. If it was a 10, it's now a 12. I think if I miss one Mysteria card, which I probably did, very likely, is at 13.
But I don't think it matters anymore. There's no Gremory to Evo to get past this board now.
You have to expect the sorcery.
All right.
And Peg knows, yeah, there we go. I think from his reaction, he knows that this will be the game. I probably missed one of the cards or miscounted. Wow, I think it's actually 13.
Let's see.
Wow, if it's 13, that's insane. Oh, 15. So I missed.
Wow.
I missed the card that created another card. Wow, 15.
Semifinals Match 2, Potwasher versus Salt. The entire tournament, Salt had been one of the most animated players, showing energy and personality. Not so before this match. Our 3-time Rage finalist entered the stage quiet and focused. Meanwhile, Potwasher is grinning ear to ear.
Ouch.
He's got a Gilnelise.
He does have a Gilnelise. That is factual.
That's facts, yeah.
That's just straight facts.
Arthur's going into that 3-4 here. Again, that Vera is still on board.
Why are you letting me live?
So maybe he, well actually there was one way he could have dealt with it, right? He could have used the Orthrus as well as the Fran to deal with the Vera.
There's a lot of resources into it though.
That's right. Leaving 4 damage here. I still don't think this is lethal with that, but that card, wow.
Yeah, Salt did a little bit of a fist pump in the air there.
He's lost pretty good, but he's hovering over the Dark Beast bat.
It's at 8 now, I believe. It's not quite there. It needs 2 more damage.
Mine, there's a 5-3 right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's plenty.
Yep, that's plenty.
5, 9, 10, plus 8.
Wings of Lust puts him to 16.
Yeah, not enough. This is making me think he's going to go for it.
Looking pretty good. Just go Wings of Lust on the Vera, go straight to the face.
I don't think you can go straight to the face. This is no good. If you trade with the 5-3, you're looking pretty good though. But you're not getting that damage to face. So these are all tough decisions every single turn here. I mean, he could just go for it and pray that there's no Gilnelise. This is one of those gamble things.
That's the thing, right? But
however, you're gambling with not just Gilnelise, you're gambling about Gremory as well. But you've already seen Gremories early in this game.
That's true. And we know that Potwasher has Gilnelise as well, so it's going to be pretty tricky. Timer's counting down. Oh, make a decision. Salt.
It's face.
Oh, it went face. Potwasher was.
Wow.
Whoa.
Potwasher's like, excuse me?
Now he's making sure he's counting it right. Bring over that Gilnelise.
That's lethal.
That's going straight up the stairs. But Salt took the gamble, but he
did.
Well, he tried.
I mean, sometimes when you feel like that's your best outlet to victory, you take the gamble. Potwasher was definitely not expecting the gamble, but so happy that it happened.
It's a close one.
I'll teach you real quick.
Salt, again, just not many options. You can see Potwasher sweating here. You can see Salt sweating here. I don't think either of them like their position at the moment.
They're all kind of fidgeting in the chairs as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the pressure must be immense at this point. Oh, that's a lot of draw, though.
There's the Chimera. The end game has begun, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. Whoa! Okay. Oh.
I don't know if you just saw how high Potwasher just jumped out of his chair.
Yeah, no kidding.
But my goodness. Now he has an answer straight up to the 8-7.
That's what we're talking about all day, you know? Dragoncraft has some of the best top decks you could possibly get. Masamune out the top.
I believe he can play the Ozzy to Haka as well. The problem is he needs to get something off the board first, so he needs to count damage. So if he gets
pretty rough. Oh, he's drawing first.
I'm back home in a jiffy.
Okay. Remove everything and just go straight through.
Soaring honor.
You still have the Azzy Dahaka in hand.
Submerge.
Not bad.
You're feeling really good about yourself, yeah.
This is not bad. Giant Chimera, definitely not big enough to do any work here.
It's a very small Chimera.
Small.
So also 7, so he can't full clear the board. Not even close. Board up.
A little puny ward this time.
He's gonna go for it.
Shall hear this proclamation.
Ooh, not
That
bad.
was a huge heal. 7 heal off of that split there.
That's
and a
pretty great.
9-9 ward. 9-9.
Whirlpool!
But the Whisper's in hand.
Poseidon!
Whisper here, but then just another ward as well. It's like we're talking about ward is
3
cheating.
damage shy. 3 damage shy this turn. Salt staying alive. This is a game, folks. My goodness.
Ward is cheating. But it looks like Foul Washer is still
Still
in a good spot.
Now I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, not a whole
Giant
lot.
Chimera's definitely not big enough. Can't even play it here.
And the third adjudication came way too late. The Chimeras came way too late. And looks like down to the Dragoncraft versus Runecraft match, that Pot Washer is going to take it.
I'm going to throw up.
You went from destruction of property to...
Lord Poseidon!
I mean, it's
Going
all
sick
happening.
everywhere.
It's all happening.
Pot Washer!
Yes!
Yes!
If you're not going to start destroying property, Akama Red is going to...
Oh my god, who said Pot Washer versus Fang?
In what Pot Washer called the best series he's ever played, and the best moment of his life so far, he can't contain his joy after winning the final game. He danced on stage, eventually tripped, and caught his breath looking up at the stadium's rafters.
Both of the first 2 games that I won felt like games that I could easily have lost, and just how the game progressed. And if he had one stronger card, a specific card, things like that, then the match might have gone a very different direction, things like that. And I was luckily able to push through with the small win conditions and get a victory. So it was very, very straining but very rewarding for myself. And after that, I was able to become very, very concentrated. And after that match, I was able to relax even more than before.
Third place match, Rio versus Salt.
That was pretty clean though. I mean, those 2 floors just came out. It's pretty nice. I know Rio's like, why do I have to work so hard? You just got these no problem.
This is a fun game. This is a fun. You have to scratch, crawl through the mud, try and find a win. Both players without bat, without clean
Oh
floors.
yeah, that's right, yeah.
This is a very funny game. Both players having Valnoric too to swing the tempo in their favor. So I honestly cannot predict who's about to win, but I think that's lethal actually. Never mind.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I didn't even realize that Salt for that play fell too far behind in health total.
Yeah, I mean, the forces never went off.
Your strength is
Salt
for
doesn't have the ending goal. Oh,
Okay.
There we go.
What an awkward game for Rio right from the start. Oh boy. And that Evil Eye Demon's gonna kind of cinch things.
And he's laughing. He's smiling because
He expects it?
he actually didn't know how close he was from actually winning this game. From the start that Blood had, it felt like it was very hard for Dragon to come back, but he made it close. And this Evil Eye Demon, if it wasn't for that card, Salt actually didn't have a very efficient way to clear all the 2 cubes or
the power.
But that's just it, man. Salt going to face with that lowers for the game. Oof. Rough match for Rio.
Azzy.
I mean, he saw the first Azzy. He's got to assume that Rio has another one in hand, right? Oh boy.
Oh, I believe that's it. I don't think there's a way to ward there. Perhaps hoping for Mysterious Knowledge for the 2-2 ward. That would have kept him alive, but this will be Rio's win.
And interesting how the tides have turned here at the beginning of the match. Salt is so happy to have gone first, but Rio still being able to put on that pressure and going straight to the dome. Azzy Dahaka, Azzy Dahaka. Let's go.
Rio confidently and deservedly took third place. Finals, Potwasher versus Feg. This was the most important moment in Shadowverse history. The $1 million prize is on the line, the largest cash prize in card game history. Both players started with their best foot forward by choosing Bloodcraft, one of the best choices to start a series with because of its nuke potential.
That's true. Big Beastie. That's
Bring in all the
absolutely right.
callbacks, full circle today.
All right, here comes a Vira Evo.
Witness the power.
This will probably lead into a Blood Pact.
Most likely, yeah.
Also protecting himself from that turn 8 Dark Feast bet. Very important. Ooh, very important draw there too if he wants to go with the Vira and the Wings of Lust. But I expect him to have to be very defensive and have to find a way to actually win this game with his own Dark Feast bet 6 and then trade, or do I want to go for the Madness reveal and maximize the healing? And this is looking very good for Feg because he still has one Evo point. Potwasher will most likely be forced to evolve that Vira, to which Feg can answer with his own Vira.
It's absolutely true. So yeah, very tough spot here for Potwasher. Can he easily remove the Vira now, actually, with only 1 defense left? Only 8 damage on the bat, though.
Yeah, it's not quite enough.
I mean, he doesn't need... Oh, I think he's doing something really brilliant. He doesn't need to necessarily evolve the Vira just yet, because the bat is at 9 damage.
If he knows very specifically that's true, he does get to heal 2 here.
Exactly.
And that means not even a gift for Bloodkin can finish the game out next turn.
Oh, this is insane.
Wow, very well
very calculated.
positioned. Yeah.
Trying to bait that Vira evolution first, that the other player can come out on top. Looks like he's just gonna go for it.
I mean, he's got to buy time, right? He knows the Dark Feast bats are waiting. Okay.
What else do you do, right? Yeah.
I don't like this. I would have liked to see him draw, perhaps with the Lexandrite Demon, and pose a threat, still have that Vira to seal the deal, and look for, because if you have Vulnerary, you can definitely destroy the Vira and kill him. So even Dark Feast bat in this situation might have been a stronger play by Feg's part.
Ooh.
That's good too.
That was an insane top deck. Now he can evolve Vira, he can play the Valnarek and get some damage in. What an insane top deck.
Yeah, and I think that Feg there with that last Evo might pay the cost on this game.
I don't know, without that Valnarek, I think it was a very good play, but the Valnarek kind of sets it right on back.
Lots of things happening on screen right now.
Yeah, beautifully. I mean, this is so strong by Potwasher. I don't see a clear way for Feg to deal with the board or lethal Potwasher here.
I will tell you this much, if I was in Potwasher's position in this game, in this matchup, I would have easily lost this.
Flores is such a high investment on your play points and requires you to evolve behind it, and perhaps you didn't have another option. Beautifully played by Potwasher on the Blood Mirror.
And this is a huge leg up. Winning the Blood Mirror, getting that first win in the Grand Finals. All right, so let's see if he chooses to trade here. Looks like it.
Can't imagine you don't, right? You don't want to get too much pressure laid on you.
Got rewarded for the Order too. The spell not being too relevant for the Mysteria cards, but Owen being relevant.
Look at this gross, okay, in Feg's hand right now. Double Fate's hand,
gross,
double Miranda, and Fiery Embrace.
Yeah.
He has a Mysterian knowledge to go along with all of this.
The knowledge makes it all cheaper for not very much cost as well. Plus, it's enhancing your game plan at the same time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was a main Runecraft player calling gross to a Runecraft hand. So this is really, really, really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I mean,
wow.
There's the Greya as well. Okay.
My God. That Graham is a complete board clear and a complete spell boost on your entire hand.
Can I get some in chat right now? Absolutely. But yeah, what an insane start here for Feg. Potwasher's going to have to do a lot of work to win this game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, 2 Mirandas and 2 hands in your hand as well. I mean, you couldn't really ask for anything better right now. I mean, come next turn or the next couple of turns, it's going to be a full board of just a bunch of teachers at a school and the golems they summon. It's going to be pretty difficult to fight against.
Yeah, actually, all the Mirandas cost 2 so far, so you can evolve the Miranda even and explode. Fate's hand also costs 0 and is 5 and 6. So it can go for double Fate Sand next turn for 0 cost, as well as 0 cost Mirandas, as well as 2 cost Ans in the same turn.
Now you understand where my was coming from.
And like you just said,
Why do I do this?
Ladies and gentlemen, even Feg is smiling, and he can dump his entire hand. Actually, I don't think he can because of board space.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough board space to get
But
the ball
he
out
could have
there.
played his entire hand if he so desired.
it's a pretty good problem to have.
Wow. Oh no, going for the damage to face. That's interesting.
He's conserving the defense of the Miranda here.
I mean, I would not.
Look at Paw Washer now. That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Leaning back in his chair like,
Push yourself away
no.
from the table. If I was at home right now and my opponent just did this, I wouldn't have a computer anymore.
And he's done so much. And with these zero cost face hands, he's never ever running out of pure Paw Washer's like, I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Paw Washer's like, what's happening to me right now?
All right.
I didn't even know. I didn't even think Unlimited was capable of doing this, let alone rotation.
Absolutely. Paw Washer now finding the short end of the stick, being one right behind.
Fishies go face and pass.
Keeping it for the Prime Dragon Keepers as well as a potential draw.
Turn 6 is going to be rough.
That Serpent Drake looks
However,
pretty
if Waters
nice.
of the Orca does come out this turn, Force of the Dragon Newt's going to look just as keen.
That's true. I wonder how hard Feg's playing around it.
I mean, we'll find out this turn, right?
Hovering over it. Here we go. Yes, no?
Oh, okay. I'm getting nervous.
This is it, man.
Oh, he's even evolving the 4/4.
This is going to feel really good on Polisher's hand after he pulls his turn up.
Yeah, had a very, very weak turn 6, turned into a decent one.
However, let's keep it simple. There's still a Prime Dragon Keeper with a Serpent Drake to fall back on.
That's true, yeah.
The Force of the Dragon Newt is the entire turn for Pot Washer. It does feel fantastic, but the first Prime Dragon Keeper will be Fegs on the board.
That's true. Now, of course, we've talked about this, not always the best. Feg, no reaction.
Unflappable, you know?
That's right. It is the finals. It is the last game.
Ooh, aggressive
Evolving.
evolve.
It's going to get a bit punished by the Serpent Drake, but getting aggressive with the Yazi the Haka, I like it. Getting that extra damage. Feg and Pot Washer don't have access to a lot of healing. Pure Voice Dragoon in this lists are very limited.
Actually, does Serpent Drake punish this at all?
Yeah, you can
Oh,
evolve.
it does. Yeah,
oh,
you're right.
actually, you had to be lucky. Time to point. Gotta be lucky with the
That's
things. Point to the singer, boys.
Care to touch?
Oh, you guys didn't point. I was the only one pointing.
I can't do it. I can't influence. Okay.
Twitch chat. Igni and Exo did not point. So
I cannot
convinced me.
influence.
You guys convinced me to
for
point.
your own games.
And now we're not
Isn't
pointing.
this actually better? This is fine.
No, this is bad for Pot Washer.
Yeah, it cleared his entire board.
Sorry, I was
look at
thinking
Pot
from
Washer's
Feg's perspective there for a second. You know, somebody's got to be rooting in the other corner a little bit.
What's the Feg's perspective?
Wow.
I don't know what that is.
What is this perspective?
Oh man,
That's rough.
His own Prime Dragon Keeper doesn't match that so well.
No, it does not.
And it's gonna be into a Poseidon. No.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh, point.
Okay.
Get the
Here we
pointing
go.
on. There we
let's all
go. Here we
point.
go.
We're all pointing.
Out of the way, stupid.
What are we pointing at?
That one.
That one. Hey.
I just realized. Feg's at 7.
Actually, Poseidon's gonna kill the board though. Oh no.
Feg's, oh yeah, Feg's already at 7, man. Paul Washer's
this game
put
is
insane
getting
pressure
close.
this game.
And
Pot
Feg
Washer
has the
can
last
come out.
Evo. Uh-oh.
Paul Washer has a Poseidon and he has an Aussie in hand as well.
He also has a
Galmio can
Galmio.
kill the entire wards. Oh, Galmio can kill all the wards. Oh, Pot Washer is feeling it. Galmio will deal 3 damage. Can kill all the wards too.
Playing this Poseidon's gonna get so weird.
I would have liked to see an evolve on the Prime Dragon Keeper too, just to keep it healthy and
Sure.
keep it on the board. That is his win condition for now. If the Poseidon and the Prime Dragon Keeper connect twice, that would be enough for lethal. So here he has access to 5 damage, put him to 12. Then he has a 3 attack and a 5 attack. That would be lethal.
I think this is an easy Evo on the Prime Dragon Keeper.
Let's see if he goes for it. Oh my god.
He's thinking. Here we
Oh,
go.
he's
Here we
playing
go.
very well. Wow. Putting Pot Washer on the back fence. Ooh, this Galmio. Oh.
That was a pretty good
draw.
draw.
He can kill all the wards.
That was a pretty good draw.
Oh, Fegs react. He can kill all the wards.
Tear away from your
He's praying that it doesn't hit something good here, but he doesn't know about the rending.
Oh.
I think you
kill
still have
all
to
the
kill the
wards.
ward. I think you have to.
Oh, it's so risky.
What is Pot Washer at now? 12?
Oh, it's so risky.
So we're looking at 8 damage, and in hand right now he can produce 1 extra damage, so 9. But Pot Washer doesn't know there's no Ozzy Dahaka.
He also doesn't have board space for the 4 pings with Prime Dragon Keeper.
Do you take the gamble on the Ozzy Dahaka?
For me, this is the play of the whole tournament.
This is it.
This will be the play of the whole tournament.
Does he go for the Warden gamble?
Oh!
Top of the deck. Is there anything here that wins him the game?
Oh, it's not it?
That's 2 pings. Could be more. 1 more. So that's 3, 8, 11.
He needs Poseidon or Dahaka. No, Dahaka doesn't do it. He needs Poseidon here.
He needs Poseidon only.
Or Pure Voice Dragoon. I think he has 1 in this deck.
That's true. Pure Voice Dragoon could help him to heal 6 here.
Oh my god.
I'm kind of shaking a little
Sometimes you
bit.
have to risk it.
He
I mean,
did.
Last year I didn't go aggressive enough, and Torres was off the top of my deck to actually end the game, and Pot Washer does not go for
the
that.
Ozzy Dahaka here for his own win condition.
Oh!
You're dumb.
Is it going to get a Pure Voice?
That's the only card now,
Oh
right?
my god, I have my heart in my hands.
It's the only out.
Oh my god. Oh!
The Dahaka. 1 card away.
I think that's it. I think we have it.
Calm down. Calm down.
Aka's about to freaking explode.
Oh! I'm waiting for Ball Washer. Oh!
Oh no!
That's it! Care to touch?
Oh no, did I jinx it? Oh no way.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Fex reaction. Wait. Oh!
That's not 10 play points.
No, that's not 10!
That ramp, that 1 missed ramp at the beginning. If I
Double
had
Prime
2.
Dragon. No! Oh no!
Is there anything he can do? Is there anything?
Poseidon? Prime Dragon Keeper with Poseidon Accelerate, maybe.
That top deck Poseidon at the end.
Oh no!
Vegas
Why
praying
did
to
I
the
say
gods.
it? No! Poseidon War.
Oh.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No.
Wow, what a series though.
Unbelievable play from both players in this finals.
Although I lost, I'm glad it was a really great game to end a great match, a great series, a great day, amazing tournament overall.
Both players pushed past the point of total exhaustion to deliver the best series of Shadowverse the world has ever seen. Feg took home $1 million. Potwasher took home $200,000.
I'd like to continue playing Shadowverse as much as I can, so I think a lot of the money will go towards making sure that I can live comfortably while focusing on Shadowverse, so I can maybe try for the championship, for the champion title next year.
Stick around for 2019, where we will see even more exciting competition for yet another massive $1 million first place prize. And who knows, maybe next year, the winner will be you.